the other question. The whole country turns red. I mean, it's hard to find any place that voted for a Democrat, except in California. California, they got a lot. California Democrats did better. What the hell's going on in California? John D. Villarreal is here.
John, welcome back to the Rusty Humphries Show. How are you doing?
Rusty, I'm doing great, my friend. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. What's the name of your website again?
Okay, so
Conservative New Media.
Yes, it's Conservative New Media, and the flagship is the YouTube channel. So if anyone goes to YouTube, they type in Conservative New Media, they'll see it right now. We just had our biggest month ever. Revenues are up over 600% because we're a full YouTube partner. We did 1.34 million hits on the channel, and we're just on fire. We're doing all kinds of stuff. People will love it.
Fantastic. You're talking on your shoe phone or something?
I'm sorry, I'm on a speakerphone, and I hope the audio is okay for you there because I'm trying to do the simulcast. So we're going to put these videos up. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a pass on this one. Now, John, every place in the country has gone conservative. I mean, it's hard to find a piece of blue on the map, except California, where Democrats picked up seats. What the hell happened in California? That's where you live.
That's right, yes. We just did 2 explosive videos on this. We studied it, and here we had Meg Whitman, Carly Fiorina, a whole slew of great candidates from, Assembly on up and Meg on down, and the whole thing went totally into disaster zone, Rusty. You've been talking about what happened in Washington. I gotta tell you what happened in California. In my personal opinion, this is all my personal opinion now, that you can look at each individual race and say this race did that, that race did that, this candidate this candidate that. The bottom line is there's one theme that runs through all the races, and that's the California GOP. And I have to say that in my opinion, the California GOP is broken, and most specifically, the person who is the face of this, who wants to be the new chairman, who is the current vice chairman, Tom Del Beccaro, is to blame for these losses.
Why is one guy to blame who's the chairman of the Republican Party? Why does it matter?
Because here's why it matters. It matters in so many ways. First, voter registration. Right? If we don't have Republicans registered, we're not going to get those votes. 80% of the people that register for a party vote for that party. That's number 1. Number 2, party outreach. Number 3, in terms of who you have working for campaigns, in terms of people using us, Tom Del Beccaro knows exactly who we are. He's given us the hand in my personal opinion, in terms of working with other candidates, in terms of doing events together. And when you have a situation here in California where about 31% of the registered voters are Republican, we need every single Republican on board, and then we need to go outside and get other people. We can't divide this party. I'm afraid that they're trying to make this party into a super elite country club, and they don't care about the grassroots folks, they don't care about the Tea Party folks, they don't care about talk radio in a lot of ways, in my personal opinion. And listen, I lay out a whole case that I know that you don't have time for on your show, that are in the videos. If people go to Conservative New Media on YouTube, they see the 2 new videos where I laid out the case in a very low-key manner, with the facts, with charts, with citations, with all kinds of stuff, and it's very, very clear. I'll give you a specific example, perfect example. CD11, David Harmer versus sitting Congressman Jerry McNerney. Here's a race where Tom Del Beccaro was personally involved, where his nephew, Chris Del Beccaro, was working on that campaign, where he put them on Brian Sussman's show, who's Brian Sussman's his friend over at KSFO, over and over again, where it was a targeted race. David Harmer was the #1 person in California in the Young Guns program, Kevin McCarthy and Kander and all those people. He raised $2.5 million. Well, guess what? As of today, as of yesterday, by the Secretary of State's own numbers, David Harmer is losing that race. That race has a +1 Republican registration advantage. This is a year where we had the tsunami. We've never seen a year like this in 100 years. 1938 was the last time we've seen this kind of gains for Republicans. And we're losing that race. Now you might say, oh John, well that's just California. Well, wait a minute. If you look at CD20, Andy Videk in the Central Valley near our friend Dave Diamond of KFIV and your affiliate, and, that's a situation where Andy Videk is up right now. He's winning right now. He only raised $633,000 to sitting Congressman Jim Costa's $1.5 million, and Jim Costa actually outspent him about 3 or 4 to 1. And more importantly, if you look at the registration in that district, Rusty, you had a situation where it's 51% Democrat and only 31% Republican. I mean, massive registration gap there, and Andy Viddick win. If Andy Viddick...
What is your point, John? Your point is that the Republicans didn't do a good enough job of registering voters, or do you think that there's some shenanigans going on?
I think that there's a lot of things going on. I think that the Republican Party, the leadership right now, is making it so that we can't win here in California, Rusty, and I'm upset about it. And we've talked about it off the air before. I need to get you, me, Dave Diamond, a bunch of other people. We can't have this anymore. We can't have... You know what it is? The easiest way to say it is, it's what the establishment was trying to do, in my opinion, to Sharon Angle. It's what the establishment was trying to do to Christine O'Donnell. We're seeing it again. We're seeing it here in California, and it can't go on, or else we're always going to lose. And think about this. This is very simple for your listeners to understand. If you're a candidate like Meg Whitman or Carly Fiorina, and you've got, you know, a lot of money, but you've never run before, where's the first place you're going to call to find out how you run, how you get your campaign manager, how you get your media stuff, and all this type of stuff? You're going to call the state party. So those are the people that really control the show. That's the bottom line. You know that.
Yeah. John D. Villarreal here on the Rusty Humphries Show. We do have some breaking news. It appears, this is according to the Secretary of State of Washington, Dino Rossi Caves. Candy Ass Dino again, has now conceded to Patty Murray. I could have predicted this, and part of this is, and I think it's the same thing going on with what your thing is going on. By the way, Patty Murray will be holding a press conference in about 1 hour now.
Jeez.
But what I think is going on there, John, is that these country club Republican guys, they don't like anybody that's not their own, and they want to get along more than anything else. And so if they got to sell somebody else under the bus so they can keep going to the parties, they'll do it.
You got it.
The ruling class elites that need to be tossed out on their asses, no matter what the state they're in. Hey, John, thank you very much. ConservativeNewMedia.com is where you can see them. We'll go to the YouTube channel, Conservative New Media. Nice job, John. We'll talk to you again soon.
Say hello to our good friend Dave Diamond at KFIV.